Reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. MMO Reporter's coverage of PAX East 2012 is brought to you by our exclusive sponsor, Squarespace. So I am here at the Turbine booth, at the Warner Brothers booth actually, with none other than Rowan Campbell himself. Hello Aaron, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, doing very well, Chris, thank you.
It is a busy time at PAX, of course, and as you can see behind us, there's tons and tons of people playing Lord of the Rings Online, playing DDO. What do you think about a convention like this? How does it feel for you making this game, working on this game every day, and then seeing people have such an attraction to it?
Well, a few things, right? First of all, PAX is one of my favorite shows because it's a player show, right? So I go to a lot of gaming shows over the year. PAX is one of the few shows that really says, let's get hands-on with the players, like the players in the mix, let's get right up close and personal. So it's a great feeling. It's a great place to be. In terms of how I'm feeling right now, we're heading up on our 5th anniversary, and I've been working on the project for 6 years. So it's a huge time. It's kind of an emotional time. It's a very important milestone for us, and it's exciting.
So 5 years, I mean, there's a lot of MMOs that don't make it 5 months nowadays. It's quite the achievement. What do you think it is about Lord of the Rings Online that has given it such longevity?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, I think it's the talent of the team. I think that we have a team that has only gotten better over time as we build on these kind of things. So to tease a little bit, we recently went back and took a good hard pass at Farnos, and I think some players have been guessing at that. To see the before and after of that experience, 5 years is the lifetime is not a long enough expression, right? That the team has transformed and grown exponentially in what we're able to deliver in terms of content, in terms of landscapes, in terms of that game experience. We hope the players have seen that as well.
I know for me, having played the game now I think I came in a year and a half after launch. I'm now level, and my listeners tease me about this as well as my co-host Bill, I'm level 72, not quite 75 yet. It's been quite the growing experience to see the game grow and the story grow. What's your favorite part of the story so far?
Oh, goodness. I really like the way that Maid of Lions was able to take the Ranger experience and pull that together in the Isengard expansion and basically encapsulate a lot of the elements of play, the characters you've been interacting with for so long. I think that sums up a lot of the way the story has grown and the way that your characters have grown as well over that time. So we've taken you out into Middle-earth, and now you truly are heroes of Middle-earth. You're going across into these vast uncharted realms. You're doing very dangerous things with very powerful adversaries. And at this point, then the Rangers kind of say, well, you know more about this place than I do, and you're kind of leading the way, so why don't you solve those problems, and I think we're done being your mentor now.
So the end of Volume 2, and I was warned about this from my co-host, that
yes.
at the end of Volume 2, I would not like the Rangers very much after going through and having a certain experience, and I won't tease it for all those players who haven't gone through, but do you know the part that I'm talking about? Do you think so? What as the executive producer, going into this, what was the thought process behind making players who have been, fighting beside these Rangers, going through and idolizing a lot of the time these Rangers, all of a sudden get to this point and think, you know what, I don't really like you anymore?
Sure. I think part of the story of The Lord of the Rings is really a story of human frailty. It's a story of those weaknesses and temptations that draw us away from our better selves. And each epic, each story that we tell has to have its own theme, has to have its own world. So, very much in Shadows of Angmar, we're very much talking about betrayal and the weakness of man. In Mines of Moria, we're talking about greed and how the dwarves would dig and delve too deep. With Rise of Isengard, that temptation has risen to a scale that is hard for folks to even comprehend, right? And we've already seen even the greatest can fall. I mean, if you look at Boromir as an example. So these types of storytellings, I think, are very different. I don't think we talk about things that are sad or difficult or dangerous in a lot of games, and we try to do that. We try to branch out and reach out in those directions.
So So going into Isengard, now past into the Great River region, it has been, from what I can tell, a pretty big hit with all the players. I know that I haven't gotten out of there yet, of course, level 72. Bill's never going to let me hear the end of it, but Bill has gotten out there, and he's really, really enjoying it. It must be, again, a great pleasure for you guys to see players enjoying it.
Right.
What's your favorite thing to do in the Great River region right now?
I personally am a huge fan of the epic story. I personally really enjoy digging in, and I think that, again, we've done a very good job with Great River of reconnecting you to the Fellowship and reconnecting you to that central story. One of my favorite parts of the Great River, though, is actually kind of this throwback to Shadows of Angmar, where we went into Limlet Gorge and we said, we're going to create an entire area that's dedicated to group content. We're going to create an entire area that's dedicated to things you're going to need smaller for fellowships for, and we're not going to apologize for that. We're not going to make that easier. We're not going to soften it up. We're going to, this is for groups. I'm glad we actually did some of that. I think that there's always a pendulum, and I think we got to watch the balance of that. And the Great River feels the closest to our initial year of launch of any sort of region area that we've put into the game, really.
Because it is quite a big risk, especially with my experience with players who are choosing to approach LOTRO from a free-to-play perspective. Sure. They tend to be, and I am generalizing, it's not everyone, but they tend to be more solo focused players, and so it is quite a risk in a game that does have a free-to-play option to take that.
Potentially. I mean, I think that something we've always tried to do is to strive for a variety of gameplay types, and we've done that throughout the course of the game. We've always been experimenting. We have brand new types of things for experimenting with, clearly for Riders of Rohan coming up. And you were asking earlier, like, what I'm spending a lot of my time doing these days. I'm spending a lot of my time these days playing with a mounted combat prototype. So
you're trying to make us all jealous, is what you're saying.
So in some ways, I'm very excited because I'm very closely tied to what we're doing immediately, what we're doing now, what we're doing, with Update 6, and for the anniversary is coming up very soon, right? April is our anniversary month, and we have a whole festival planned out. We have rewards for longtime players. We have an anniversary gift to everyone who comes and plays in the game. And at the same time, we are deeply into Rohan. We are deeply into that next set of experiences, and we're deeply into thinking about what these new gameplay types will feel like, what new endgame options we're going to have for players.
So Riders of Rohan is coming out at some point. We've done Update 6. Are we looking at any new content between now and Riders of Rohan?
Yes.
That's a very full-featured and in-depth answer, but about the answer that I was expecting. So I'm really looking forward to the next little while. There's lots of stuff that's very, very exciting. So I can't wait. I got to go right now. I got to get on the computers and get in game. So thank you very much, Aaron. It's been a blast.
Glad to.